how many total acquisitions have you had?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. So the
Yeah.
first one, what year was that?
In 2015.
2015. Okay.
Oh,
When did
okay.
the next one happen?
2017.
2017. Okay. And what prompted this second acquisition?
They came to me because the business was
Okay.
going on its own.
So this is the one we
right.
mentioned
That
from
was
private
the
equity group.
private equity guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So they come to you. How do you structure this deal? How does, let's go through the nuts and bolts of this second one. You've already done the first one. It was were you considering it a success by this point in 2017 or not yet?
No, we were on top of it. We knew it. That's why they came to me. They knew
Okay.
that they knew we had this one. Yeah.
Okay. So they came to you. How do you structure this deal? What are the nuts and bolts of it?
That one, we just took and completely started a whole new company, all new equipment, everything, and we hired the staff to come directly to it.
Okay.
All the contracts, everything came with it. We did not do a buyout. We took them over.
Gotcha. So you took them over. What financial, what had to go into that? Obviously, there's a huge capital investment to get all the new equipment
Yes.
and office space, all that stuff. But from the actual transaction of taking over contracts, stuff like that, was there any financial payout there?
No, we did not have to pay anybody out. Every bit of that was personnel / client base. And we went and did that.
Wow. Okay. So do you consider that kind of a fortunate situation where they come to you with all talent, with all contracts to do the work? Obviously, you have a huge investment capital wise to get started, but
You got the missing operations piece that makes it work.
That was very strategic. The third one, it was very similar because I was going to hire the general manager, and he'd already gave us notice and was coming, and then decided everybody else wanted to come because of the failure on that side. And theirs was different in the aspect of the way their client base was. And I said, hang on, if we're going to do this, why don't I just buy the company and we'll buy the assets of the company and the client base? And so that's when I reached back out to the private equity guys, and we ended up negotiating, and I bought it. I wrote a check to them on that. And so that was the third one. But in both cases, it was private equity failures on both of them that led to it.
Okay, so on the terms of the deal, we don't have to get into numbers or anything like that, but how much of it is seller financed? How much of it are you getting a note from a bank? Are you using SBA?
No, I wrote a check.
Just wrote a check flat out. Okay. Gotcha.
The first one, I did get a note from the bank.
Okay. And did you use SBA for that?
No, just standard.
Just standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had become strong enough that we could write a check for it.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Very fascinating. So you mentioned earlier that you operate at that 40,000 foot level. Has that always been the case? When did that shift happen over the course of your, you started in 92. Is that right away 40,000 foot? How did you get to that point?
Well, I had to, even in the 90s, I had to get to that point because we started a whole division of our company, which was horizontal directional drilling. And we had crews all over the United States, and I started managing that side, and I had some internal staff managing the environmental side. And so I just had to figure out how to get reports that meant something, and it was trial and error. It didn't happen overnight. I'd say, hey, you know what? Let's put this number in here. But any successful business owner, if they're not looking at on a weekly basis, if they're not looking at accounts receivable, accounts payable, long-term debt, cash in the bank, and bad debt, if they're not looking at that on a regular basis, they're looking for a train wreck. Those are key indicators of how healthy your business is. And they'll give you key indicators of what's going to happen next month, in a few months down the road.